If you want to grow your small business and attract more customers, then the single biggest thing you need to understand is the psychology behind why customers buy and how you can use that in your marketing to make significantly more sales. So the biggest problem that most small business owners face today is really trying to understand what's going to motivate a customer to buy. This is where psychological principles come in. And the better that you're able to understand that, the better you're able to design your marketing and position your business accordingly. So one of the most prevalent forms of psychological principles is something known as anchoring. Anchoring is a cognitive bias where essentially tells us that people, your customers, are over-reliant on the very first piece of information that they hear. For example, the very first thing that someone sees when they're presented with your business is something very low priced. Well, when you try to promote or try to offer future services, well, if they're anything more than this, they're going to seem, by contrast, significantly more expensive. So make sure that you're leading with your best value proposition so that they could see it, they could start to form that mental anchor. Next, let's talk about the mere exposure effect, which is probably one of my favorite cognitive biases of all time. What the mere exposure effect is the effect that the more often we see something, the more that we like it, and the more that we trust it. See, one of the biggest reasons that customers don't buy is because they need time. They need time to think. This is just the way that we make decisions. And by accepting this and by building our marketing around it, it allows it to become significantly more effective. When you're thinking about attracting new customers, about growing your business, once is never enough. Rather, trust takes repetition. It takes touch points. The average number of touch points required in order to get someone to make a purchase are somewhere between 7 and 14. So a great way to do this is to simply do something called syndication and sharing of your content. What most people do is they'll think of a promotion that's coming up or possibly a holiday, they'll look at their budget, and they'll just dump everything into a 1 week, 2 week, maybe even a 3 or 4 week campaign. What is a better plan is to sort of space that out. It gives your customers, it gives your clients time to sort of soak in the information. All right, so the next psychological principle is something known as the paradox of choice. Most small business owners think that more is better, when in reality, study after study has shown us that more options actually leads to less conversions, which means less sales, less customers, and when the customers do make a purchase, less satisfaction. People don't have the time or the mental bandwidth to really go through and evaluate all of these different options. Plus, there is a psychological principle at play, which is this fear of loss. Most people don't make decisions for the benefits they're going to get. They try to make decisions that will minimize their risk. By eliminating this for them, by showing them the best one for them and helping make it easy, you increase your sales and you also increase the satisfaction that they're going to feel after they make a purchase. Customers don't buy when they understand, they buy when they feel understood. And that's what this is all about. And the only way to make a customer feel understood is when you start to understand these psychological principles and bake them into your business.